What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Coach Magali. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. And in this channel we talk all things fitness, nutrition, health, and how to make this whole journey simple and easy for you to do. In today's video, that's exactly what we're going to do by dispelling 10 fitness myths that I personally think need to die. They need to disappear, they need to go away. And hopefully once I discuss the myths and kind of disprove them, it gives you some clarity on what you need to do and the things that you don't have to be worrying about anymore. With that being said, please make sure you subscribe down below, make sure you like the video, all of those things, and let's get started. The very first myth: wearing sweatsuits or those sweatbands or anything like that helps you burn more fat. Wrong. I cannot wait until the day that these things die and they are no longer sold on the market, not anytime soon. But essentially, you guys, what these things do is they exaggerate your body temperature. They make you get really hot and therefore sweat more. Sweating is water, not fat. So if you sweat and you let all this water out, yes, you'll be lighter because you have lost water weight. But as soon as you finish your session and you're really thirsty because you've been sweating or all workout long, you're going to gain all that water weight back. And that's all it does. There is no other benefit apart from sweating more. But then again, sweating more isn't necessarily body fat being lost, and it's just water weight that eventually you'll get back once you drink water. The thing that I hate about this specific industry is that these things are not cheap. These sweatsuits and sweatbands can rack up in price, and the thing is, they don't do anything. All they do is make you sweat, increase your body temperature, you lose water weight. You do not need to buy any sweatsuits, you do not need to wear any sweatbands or anything of the sort. Good old-fashioned calorie deficit, monitoring your calories, will make you lose body fat. Hint hint, that's going to be a theme this video. The second myth is fasted cardio is better than cardio where you eat beforehand. That is not true. It has been shown many times that fasted cardio and regular cardio produce the same amount of fat loss. Now, if you like fasted cardio because you like being light, you don't like the feeling of food in your stomach when you're running, you like cardio first thing in the morning, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't understand you, I will never understand you, but that's okay. That is your preference and it's perfectly fine. If you also like to have something before you eat, don't feel like you're missing out on results because you're not. They're the exact same thing. It all comes down to preference and then making sure you're in a calorie deficit. As long as you're in a calorie deficit with the food that you're eating, you can do fasted or regular cardio and it will not make any difference whatsoever. The third myth is you need to be sore or really exhausted after your workout for it to be a good workout. This myth and this idea behind workouts is still so common and so many people still believe it. I still have clients who ask me, hey, I'm not sore after yesterday's workout. Like, did we not go hard enough? Did I do it wrong? Like, what's going on? And I always have to assure them, you don't always have to be sore. In fact, if you're sore after every single workout, that means you're probably going way too intense and therefore you're not giving your body enough time to recover. Soreness is not a good nor a bad thing. It's just neutral. It just means that your body did something that you're not used to. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. But to use that as the only thing you're tracking your progress with, like how sore I was, you're ignoring everything else that matters more. How much weight you're lifting, is your form looking better? There have been many studies showing that soreness does not increase muscle hypertrophy, another fancy word for muscle building. So soreness is not a good gauge of your workout's effectiveness. It's not good nor bad, it just is. There are other things that you need to be focusing more on than that. And if you're not sore, it does not mean you had a bad workout. It just means you're probably recovering really well. Soreness is not the best indicator of how effective your workout is, and you don't have to be super exhausted after a workout for it to count. Myth number 4, this one bugs me a lot, that women need to be doing lighter weight, more reps to tone up and burn fat when it comes to weight training. No. The best way to build muscle and to change a woman's physique is to, 1, be in a calorie deficit for nutrition, and then number 2 is to push strength, is to get really strong and get really good at basic fundamental weight training movements. And that isn't going to happen by you lifting 5 pounds a million times. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to burn. And that's it. That doesn't mean anything. Burning sensation is just your muscles getting fatigued. That doesn't mean that anything actually is happening in terms of growth, getting stronger, shaping the muscle, all of those things. So by perpetuating this myth that we need to be lifting lighter and focusing more on reps and all this stuff, and that's going to get us better results, it's discouraging women from picking up the bar, from putting weight on the deadlift bar, from doing more barbell hip thrusts with heavier loads. And they're missing out on progress because when you get stronger, when you push muscles to that extent, they are forced to grow. They are forced to change shape. You look better, you feel better, and there is nothing more badass than lifting more weight than you did last week or last month. Always beating your records, lifting more weight. It's so much better than sitting there for 20 minutes on one exercise trying to get the burning sensation with 5 pounds. And it's more effective. You're going to get better results. As long as you're in a calorie deficit and you focus on pushing strength and getting stronger and lifting heavier, you're going to be in way better shape than focusing on doing a ton of reps with no weight. Ladies, pick up the bar, put the weight on it, learn how to lift properly. You're going to be way better off. You're going to see better results, and working out is honestly going to become so much more fun because there's nothing better than seeing yourself improve and get stronger week by week, month by month. And again, the results are going to be better. So ladies, you do not have to lift light weights. You can lift heavy and look bomb. Next myth, the 5th one. You need to constantly be switching your workouts to shock your body so that you can continue to see results for a long period of time. So this one is slightly true, but for the most part it's false. And what I mean by that is we do need to be constantly monitoring our workouts and switching things out when things aren't working, or we have plateaued, or we have just stopped seeing progress, or we've gotten injured somehow. Yes, changes do need to happen over time. However, people switch up their routines way too soon. A week or 2 is not enough time to perfect the form on things, to get used to things, to really push the weight, to build the skill. Unfortunately, people don't give enough time to their workout routine to really see progress and really build foundational strength. So, for example, you want to be switching your workout anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. Anything sooner than that is not going to be enough time for your body to get adjusted to what you're doing. And obviously after 8 weeks, you're getting stronger, things may change. You could probably work in a couple changes here and there, but anything less than that is just not enough time to build anything, to get good at anything. You do need to be switching your workout, but only do it when you've mastered something, where you've plateaued, where you really have been pushing things for a couple weeks, not any time before that. Next myth, you need to cut out sugar in order to lose body fat. Sugar is this like innocent thing that people continue to call bad, nasty names. And the reality is, you guys, sugar, as with anything else, it needs to be consumed in moderation. Something in by itself is not bad. It cannot do damage if it's on its own and it's one little serving. A piece of candy isn't going to kill you. A banana isn't going to kill you. Sugar is not evil. The problem is that people tend to eat foods with a lot of sugar and a lot of carbs and a lot of fat, and therefore rack up the calories and are in a calorie surplus, meaning they're no longer in a calorie deficit. So cutting out sugar in and of itself is not going to result in better results. What it can do is it'll cut out foods that typically have a lot of calories and therefore create a calorie deficit. But you can achieve that by simply moderating how much you eat of it. So decrease the amount you eat it, but don't cut it out completely. And if you're eating a ton of bread, cut back on bread. If you're eating a ton of avocados can get you fat because there are a lot of calories. But as long as you're in a calorie deficit, sugar itself can be part of a healthy diet. You can still see results. You can still have candy and the fruit and anything else you want and still see progress and still be healthy. So no, you don't need to cut out sugar. What you do need to do is be in a calorie deficit and enjoy all of the foods that you enjoy in moderation. Sugar is okay and you still can see results. Next myth, women need to lose body fat before they start lifting weights. So there's this idea that women need to get lighter, lose a lot of body fat before they even begin to lift weights, because I'm not really sure where that comes from, but that is a commonly held belief. A lot of women think that they have to do tons of cardio, lose all the body fat, drop the weight before they can even begin to lift weights and get stronger. Now, the problem with this is you are losing out on a ton of results. And again, remember my previous point, building muscle and getting stronger helps accelerate results because you are building more muscle, you are increasing your metabolic rate, you are burning more calories than someone who weighs the same amount but has less muscle. So building muscle from day one, getting stronger from day one, in addition to being in a calorie deficit, is going to result in the best results versus doing just cardio or just lifting weights. You got to be doing a combination of everything. So if you're resistance training most days of the week, you're in a calorie deficit, you're eating enough protein, you're having a couple cardio sessions a week, you are going to be exponentially better off in losing weight, shaping your body, feeling better about yourself, than just doing a ton of cardio and waiting to lose that body fat before you touch a dumbbell. No, you don't have to lose body fat before you lift weights. You can start on day one. There's no reason why you can't do both and still look great and still see a lot of progress. Start lifting weights from day one. You're going to be way better off and much happier with your results. Next myth, you cannot eat after 6 p.m. because anything after 6 p.m. turns into body fat. If you spend $200 after 6 p.m., did you spend more than $200? Doesn't work like that. Calories are calories. They are not more or less depending on the time of day. As long as you're in a calorie deficit, I know that word is repetitive, but you need to ingrain it in your brain. The calorie deficit is ultimately what matters. If you're in a deficit, whether you eat 200 calories at 8 p.m., 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 1 a.m., it doesn't matter. It's the same amount. So as long as you're eating, let's say your calorie deficit is 1,500, if you eat all 1,500 at 10 p.m., you're still going to be fine because you're in the deficit. If you have 750 in the morning and 750 at night, they are still going to be 1,500 calories no matter what, and you're still going to lose weight. When you eat, the timing of your foods does not matter. What ultimately matters is, are you eating the right amount of calories for your body for the goals that you have, which is being in a calorie deficit. So yes, you can eat at night, just make sure you don't overeat and get yourself out of the deficit. Next myth, you have to run to your car and drink protein within 30 minutes of your workout for that anabolic window. So basically, this myth started in the bodybuilding community where it was this thing to drink protein right away after your workout, otherwise your gains were lost and the workout you did didn't matter. So now research has expanded that you have about 3 to 5 hours after your workout to get that protein in to be utilized at its best. But even then, if you have 100 grams of protein that you should be eating a day, for instance, if you have 100 grams throughout the day but don't eat it right after your workout, you're still going to be okay because you ate your total amount of protein. So if you're not hungry, if you forgot your shake, if you ran out, it is not the end of the world, and you're not losing your gains if you don't have it right away. So you don't have to have protein right away. Like the second you finish your workout, you can take some time. If you want to, of course, why not? But it's not necessary. If you miss it a couple times, it's not the end of the world. You're still going to get progress as long as you eat the appropriate amount of protein in the day. Total amount of protein matters more than how much you eat after your workout. Next myth, you need to activate your muscles before your workout, otherwise you're not going to see the best results. So there's this belief that muscles are these things that you turn on and off, and when they're not on, like they're just not working, they're not there, they're non-existent, they're asleep. So muscles don't work that way. Muscles are always active, they're alive, they're there. And the problem isn't so much that you're not activating them enough, it's that your technique sucks and you're not getting the exercise down correctly. So a lot of the times, especially with women, we tend to have these crazy activation warm-up routines that we spend 30 minutes with the band around our knees, doing a bunch of squats, a bunch of this, a bunch of that. And by the time we get to our first set of deadlifts, we're exhausted. And so therefore our technique breaks down and we're not able to perform the exercise at the best of our ability. And when we're not able to do that, our muscles cannot be targeted properly, and when that happens, we tend to see less results. So instead of trying to do this intense activation warm-up, just try to focus on a warm-up that's 5 to 10 minutes and prepares you for the workout you're about to do. If you're going to start with deadlifts for your first exercise, start warming up with the bar. Do a couple body weight squats and then begin. Like, start building up your weight on the bar. Don't spend 30 minutes with a band around your knees doing a ton of random shit. You need to be focusing on the technique that you're doing, the very first exercise that you're about to do, preparing yourself mentally and physically, and not overexhausting yourself with random activation exercises. Muscles don't need to be activated. You need to just do correct form and really progress with your technique, which can be done by not over fatiguing yourself with activation workouts. So this whole activation idea and doing all these crazy warm-up routines is actually detrimental to your progress and will ultimately lead to less results. Simple warm-up, 5 to 10 minutes, make it exercise specific, and get right to your workout as soon as you're done with that. And the final myth, bonus one for you, number 11, is if you eat too little calories, you will enter starvation mode and end up gaining body fat. So it is physically impossible to gain body fat if you aren't eating a lot of calories. That's not how it works. A lot of people believe this because they tend to choose foods that are really, really high in calories but don't fill you up. Have you ever seen a croissant's calories from Starbucks, one of the drinks from Starbucks? Have you ever seen the double In-N-Out burger or the animal fries calories? These are foods that are not that big, and I'm sure you can relate, don't keep you full for very long, but they rack up calories really easily. Guys, if you just have a double from In-N-Out and an animal fry, that alone is like 1,400 calories. And that's enough for some of you to put you out of a deficit. And that's just one meal. When it comes to people believing this, they're just choosing foods that are really high in calories and are not satiating. So the solution is choose more highly satiating foods with less calories. Vegetables, protein, dairy, all of those things. Starvation mode isn't a thing. You cannot get fat by eating too little. You get fat only by eating too many calories, whether they're very little foods or you're eating a lot of foods. It doesn't matter. Calories are the reason why people gain weight. not the absence of calories. And if starvation mode were actually a thing, we would see people who can't afford to eat and are actually in starvation get really fat. We don't see that because that's not a real thing. Choose satiating foods, choose lots of volume foods, nutritious foods that have very little calories but more nutrients, and of course put yourself in a calorie deficit and then you'll lose weight. But yeah, starvation mode, not a thing. So of course, there's a million and one other myths that I could talk about, but this video would be exponentially long. I hope by me talking about these things, you have a little bit more clarity on what you need to be paying attention to, what you don't need to be paying attention to, and make your journey a little bit easier and simple to do by clarifying the things that actually deserve your attention. Because a lot of it out there, you guys, is BS, unfortunately. A lot of people use fear-mongering and all kinds of different things to get you to buy their products, to follow them, to pay attention to them. Fitness and health is really simple. You know, it's working out, it's staying active, decreasing stress, drinking water, but people will really have you believing that if you eat after 6 p.m., if it's 6:01 p.m., you gain body fat. So I hope that this helped. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for listening to me rant. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do not forget to subscribe, like the video, comment below your thoughts, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.